Shalom. We're in the third part of our mini-series on Chanukah, and we've been learning that the Maccabees fought the Greeks, according to the Rambam, in order to return sovereignty, national independence, an independent Jewish state. And even though, as we see today, so too then, the Rambam was not naive, and he knows that the state of Israel the Maccabean dynasty was not ideal. Nevertheless, it's so important to have a Jewish state, even if it's not ideal. What's the second problem? Last time we spoke about the problems of freedom of religion, and a Jewish state ensures freedom of religion, even if it's not a religious Jewish state, and the answer to assimilation, where you have a Jewish atmosphere. Today, we're going to continue in that Rambam at the beginning of the laws of Chanukah, where the Rambam mentions another problem that we had under the thumb of the Greeks, and that is they took away our money, they took away our daughters. And this is the problem of anti-Semitism. And in fact, just like in the time of the Maccabees, so too, one of the major reason that turned Theodor Herzl onto Zionism was the Dreyfus Affair, where he saw that even in modern France, after the French Revolution, in the land of égalité, fraternité, and liberté, they still were easily able to frame a Jewish colonel in the French army on totally trumped up charges. And not only that, what got Herzl was outside of the courtroom. People were not yelling death to the traitor. They were not even yelling death to the Jew. They were yelling death to the Jews. And that's when Herzl realized another reason why we need a Jewish state, and that is to defend ourselves from anti-Semitism. Those who recently have been in the United States or in England, really anywhere in the world outside of the Jewish state, have seen how uncomfortable, even in the 21st century, very often anti-Semitism, even in our clear-cut war against the Hamas, where the Hamas are very clearly the bad guys, sometimes anti-Semitism just blinds people. And I have many students on college campuses who are telling me that they just feel uncomfortable. Not a few of them are coming to Israel to continue their studies here. And even people with careers. Many are, because of anti-Semitism, are thinking of making Aliyah. And that's another reason why we need a Jewish state, where we have the home court advantage that, I remember even in New York, we used to sometimes get beaten up by the local thugs because we were wearing kippot. And that's not a comfortable situation, especially if we're supposed to be God's chosen people. Why are there certain places that we have to be embarrassed of our Judaism and walk around with baseball hats? That's not befitting God's chosen people. And the most natural thing is for the chosen people to live in a Jewish state. Now, last time we mentioned in the first class that there was a split. A lot of people don't know that originally almost all the Haredim were like Neturei Karta. They did not want anything to do with the political Zionism before the coming of the Mashiach. But when did most of the Haredim, the ultra-Orthodox, leave that way of thinking? In 1932-33, when, unfortunately, Hitler Yamach Shemo came to power, and they realized that they have to get out of Europe, and they wanted to come to the Holy Land, Eretz Yisrael. They saw that the only way to do it is to participate with the Zionist movement. So today, more than 90%, even of those who oppose Zionism from the start, realize that we need a Jewish state in order to combat anti-Semitism. I'll just finish off with somebody, not a few people, I already heard referring to what happened on Simchat Torah on October 7th as a Holocaust. And it's true that the Hamas are like the Nazis. And it's true that you have crackpots denying the Holocaust and also denying what the Hamas themselves said and filmed what they did. But it's definitely not a Holocaust. Because Baruch Hashem, we've come a long way. 80 years ago, Jews were hiding like mice from the anti-Semites. Today that we have a Jewish state, notice the Hamas are hiding underground like mice. Hezbollah are hiding underground like rodents. Thank God the Jewish state with the Jewish army, if need be, we even have a Jewish atomic bomb to deter anybody who wants to start up with the Jewish people again. So, in order to make sure that never again will there be this type of danger, I suggest that everybody come and live in the Jewish state where a Jew feels at home. And you don't have to worry about what they're going to say, or anti-Semites, or feeling out of place on campus, or even being embarrassed to wear a kippah or to have a mezuzah. I heard that's recently a common problem. Come home to the land of Israel, and that is another reason why the Maccabees were fighting for the Jewish state. To have a place where we can defend ourselves as Jews. Chanukah Sameach.